Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and checking out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right in my living room, doing what I do for you. With my dude over my shoulder, doing his thing. Alright, today, Rising 25 Rule led by storytelling. Story with a message and story for life. Another life lesson for you. Tune in. Think you're starting to like them. I appreciate you. Let's go. I see the numbers going up. Right thinking. Mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you and every individual to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Just knowing yourself a little bit better. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline will help and guide you to attain your goal of obtaining spiritual enlightenment, aka knowing thyself. And that's the question that I always ask my right thinkers, because you should have the answer for yourself, aka knowing yourself. The question is, know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they even know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and know that they know not is simple. I can teach you. Tune in. That's why I do what I do for you. A person who knows not and believe that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep. Other people are. But I got the spiritual knowledge to wake them up. I'm the spiritual alarm clock. I got you. Let's go. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my be true, you have to have balance in your life. Sure, by now you know that, but just keeping abreast on it. Keep the balance, okay? Today, right thinkers, let's talk about. I told you my master called me Paul, but let's talk about Paul was a biblical sage as far as I'm concerned. And I'm studied I did, I give him that title. Let me tell you why. I am a master. Excuse me. I am called Master Paul by my pastor, my church family. That's an ongoing thing. So I wear it with pride, and I know what it means from a Christian perspective. So yeah, with all due respect, I am a good student. I'm learning biblical knowledge, but on a week-to-week basis. I'm not saying I'm not proficient in the Bible, but I am learning it. I ain't got nothing against it. I'm just learning it at this point. Understand that. My knowledge is before the Bible. Again, what I teach is predates the Bible, but I'm still learning the Bible for my personal understanding and increase my knowledge of the book. Okay? I study the life of Paul from the Bible. Yeah, he changed his name from Saul to Paul. Okay. I cried when I read his story. It was that touching because I know just what that means. Mm-hmm. It's funny how my life is somewhat like Paul's. Mine is, well, I even did the prison there, but he ended up in prison for him being different and spreading the word. Again, when you doing something positive and constructive, aka a movement, the powers that be not going to allow that movement to take place. It go back to history, ain't nothing new. So understand that. But we as a people have to understand that. I'm just doing my job as giving the message out like Paul did. I'm just understanding now. So yeah, I ain't got a problem with that. I had what I call a Saul moment. Because at that point, May 1st, 2015, my life changed and I've been doing this ever since. Understand that. So yeah, it was a change. So when Saul had his change and changed it to Paul, I changed mine to P Funk. Never changed it, but I became more understanding of what and why I carry that name. So yeah. Alright, a sage is a master teacher of spiritual knowledge. I spent 30 years acquiring spiritual knowledge. Now I can teach it from my perspective as a master of it. I don't have to pattern myself after them. I don't have to follow them. No, I got my own style. Trust me. That's the difference. I didn't just start acquiring spiritual knowledge. I've been doing this for over 30 years, like I said, over 30 years. As a student, learning and acquiring, getting my stuff together, honing my skills, mastering my craft. At that time, I had no idea I would be here, but that's what I was doing 30 years ago. Just learning, just being a student, just trying to get knowledge, just trying to be a better person. I put my work in, serving God, aka living right daily. That's the preparation, that's the routine that if you're on the road of spiritual enlightenment, you have to get a routine, you have to follow it, and it's going to take a little while, but you stick to it, you'll get where you want to go, hopefully. All right? I will teach anyone who is willing to learn and put the work in from the perspective of following right thinking philosophy. That's it. I know it worked. I use it. So the question of, well, how I know it worked? Try it. You might like it. I'm a master of right thinking after philosophy. After 30 years of being a student and learning and living my life lessons. So now I can give the knowledge of what my life lessons that I've experienced. That makes me wise. Okay? I'm only giving you information that I know about. I ain't giving you somebody else's perspective. Right thinking is all mine. I have spiritual knowledge that I teach. I can teach you to become master of yourself with the rules and principles I set forth. You can do the same thing. Master yourself. But it's going to take a little time and it's going to take work. If you don't want to work, you don't want to be a right thinker. Okay? Understand that. Moving on. Paul, personally, from my perspective, was enlightened with that spiritual knowledge, that change of heart, that epiphany, that realization that you and God are one. Now you become a servant of your higher power, who you realize is your Father. You can address him as Father, but my Father and I are one. You're in his image. So all the stuff that we've been, I mean, a lot of Christians spew the verses from the Bible. Yeah, you're good with that, but are you living them? Are you making it happen? Are you manifesting any of those things that you say? Those are the ones I have an issue with. Okay, understand that too. Next one is, like Paul, I was struck by the light of God, aka heart, change of heart, mind coherence. When my heart and mind came together, like a lightning bolt, like a left hook out of nowhere, took me out and woke me up to a whole nother person. I've been that person since. Okay, hope you like them. I do. Here you go. That moment when you know yourself, when you know for yourself, becoming enlightened, recognizing God, that's a mind-blowing experience. And if you're not prepared for it, it won't happen. Why? Because if you haven't put the work in to achieve that level, it won't happen by accident. You don't know. You got to earn that. So most people prepare for it when it happens, but it's still a shock to you. Trust me, I know that too. Spiritual enlightenment is when you and God become one. Your boy told you, my Father and I are one. That's trying to tell you God is in you. I've been telling you that's the first rule of being the right thinker. You and God are connected. You just got to figure it out, okay? You being ignorant to that don't mean it ain't there. You just ignorant. I'm trying to bring you to knowledge of that for yourself. That's how you find God within you. When you reach that nihas, aka have a spiritual enlightenment, you are anointed with what? Christhood. And this was before the Bible, before Jesus. Christ was around since the ancients. We coined the frame Christos. That means the anointed one. That means the walking one. Like the Buddha. You've awakened to what? Knowledge of self. You know God. Sorry about that. But this is all tied in. Biblically, we're doing your Paul. Okay, I don't know about that, but the work I'm doing, the things I'm doing, mimics the same thing Paul was doing, so I'm not having a problem with that. Paul became Christ-like and became a servant of God, just like I'm doing. See, it don't... Slow it down. I get a little excited. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. These are life lessons. So yeah, I get a little animated when it comes down to certain things that I'm passionate about. And doing what I do, I'm very passionate about that. All right, here you go. Who taught Paul what he taught the apostles or whoever. I don't know none of that. I just know what he was supposed to be done. I don't know who was a teacher. I don't know none of that. Okay? Paul was a very smart, God-fearing man who called out the fakers. Sound familiar? See, me and Mark got a lot in common. So I like that guy. I don't have a problem with religious people. I have issue with the misuse of it and the misrepresentation of it. Don't play with the Lord. Don't use him for a manipulative tool for you to get where you want to go or manipulate people to do what you want them to do. I ain't tell you what to do, but karma, she'll get you. Understand that? If you're a follower of the Lord, then you know who she is. Like you follow the Bible, you know who Paul is. If you're a dedicated God servant, you know who karma is. I'm moving on. All right. Paul taught what he lived. Hello. I like that idea. I do the same thing with right thinking philosophy. No difference. Again, Paul. I know. I have many teachers along my 30 years of learning, but I did the learning and I did the living. I gained the knowledge and used the wisdom for my life experiences, so now I can do it and know what I'm talking about with no uncertainty. I know just what I'm telling you why I've done it. I'm only going to tell you what I know. That's right thinking philosophy. It ain't based on faith. No, I'm going to no. I'm based on knowledge. Gnosis. I know. You can too. You put the work in and learn. I am called Paul because of my spiritual knowledge and how I live. I ain't got again, no problem with that. That's for me is respect. I wear like a badge of honor to my pastor today. All right. Excuse me. Last one. I have biblical knowledge, but I'm not a master of that knowledge. I'm a master of right thinking philosophy knowledge, not the biblical knowledge. That's why I'm learning. Trust me. All right. Please understand that I have knowledge of the Bible more than most, but I don't profess to be proficient in that. I understand. I know I've been studying for years. Come on, man. I ain't got time to back and forth about that Bible thing. I don't have a problem with the Bible. It's the misunderstanding and the misconceptions that because I teach something other than the Bible, that I'm doing something or going against the Bible. Please understand that. I am being taught biblical knowledge on a weekly basis by choice. I do this. I go to church. I go to learn biblical knowledge. Nobody forcing me to do that, but I am learning. I'm not going to teach it or preach it, but I'm learning. I don't want to be a preacher of biblical knowledge. I prefer to teach right thinking. That's fine for me, but learning it and being part of it, I ain't got a problem with that. I ain't going there to be a preacher. I'm not going there to learn theological concepts about the Bible. I'm going to learn aspects of using it so I can teach that concept to people who follow the Bible who can understand it. I'm going to be able to communicate with my right thinking people who have biblical understanding. I want to be able to relate to you, not discredit or try to prove you wrong about being a Bible follower. All right, I'm about to wrap it up again. I appreciate it. I do want to be a teacher of biblical knowledge after I have learned and mastered things that I will have understanding of. Like, let God fight your battles. I adopted that concept. I got it from my pastor. I've used it, and I know that it works. So now I can tell you, let God fight your battles and know what I'm talking about. See, before I couldn't say that. Never did, never would. Well, I didn't know. Again, I only teach what I know, not what I think or believe. I'll be back. I got you. Say bye to Paul.